Okay, kind of clickbait title. I realize that. Not really my style. But it felt right. It felt obvious for this one. Give up on your dreams. What do I mean when I say that? Well, I don't mean you should give up on the things that you want. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine recently, and he was in a really depressed place. He came to me crying and said, I think it's time for me to give up on my dreams. You would think that I would talk him off of this negative ledge, that I'd be like, dude, fuck that. You got everything going for you. Don't you throw in the towel quite yet. And for some reason, it did not feel right at all to say any of that. I actually agree with him that he should give up on his dreams. And it felt weird. And it took like 30 seconds before I got hit with something that changed my life and that I hope can change yours too if it's something that you need to hear today. What hit me was this. Yes, give up on your dreams. Because if you keep thinking of them as dreams, that's all they're ever going to be forever. Check this out real quick. When you want to pee, you go to the bathroom. When you want to feel better, you go to the doctor. When you want water, you go to the refrigerator. Okay, so those examples are different than long-term wants and desires in our lives, right? For one, they're easy. There's a quick and obvious route toward getting what we want in all three of those examples. And additionally, they're physically driven. Like our bodies drive the motivation to make those things happen. It's very easy and obvious. But as a person who's hunted down and achieved things that I want several times in my life thus far, I can tell you that it turns out the principle operates the same for long-term goals. The principle is this. If we want something badly enough, our brains tend to classify it as a need. We will automatically and unavoidably take steps toward it. I don't want you to feel like you need to do anything in this moment. By being here and just listening, you're already doing everything perfectly right now. For a few minutes, just try to listen to what I'm about to say more as therapy than as like a motivational speech. There'll be a time to feel inspired later. For now, just listen without judging yourself. Ask yourself this. If all this time has gone by and I haven't done very much to get what I want, do I actually want it? Is it possible that I enjoy wanting it more than how much I'd enjoy attaining it? You don't need to answer the question quite yet. Do it later after letting this video kind of sink in for a while. But it's not a rhetorical question. And to answer it, you'll need to use honest self-awareness and a lack of self-judgment. So there are some things I want to put in your head for this. The first and the main idea here is there is a big difference between having a goal and having a dream. Both are valid. Both are useful. Here are the differences between a goal and a dream. A goal is wanting something, knowing deeply that you would like your day-to-day life to be different in some way. Having a goal feels like a roller coaster. It's scary, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. It requires imagination, persistence, vulnerability, courage, and faith. It provides you with plans, discipline, a sense of pride, self-growth, and new life conditions. A dream is fantasizing about something, actually benefiting from the positive feelings of fantasizing. Having a dream feels like a warm blanket. It's safe, it's predictable, and it's comfortable. It requires only imagination. It provides relaxation, hopefulness, and escape. So, although dreaming and having a goal are very similar sounding, they result in two entirely different, almost polarly opposite outcomes in our lives. Kind of crazy how these two colloquially synonymous things are so different. Okay, it's probably now starting to sound like I'm putting goals on a pedestal and shitting on dreams. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not just trying to push you toward ditching your dreams and just turning them into goals in your mind. So let me clarify here. Dreaming is beneficial and fun. Think of what dreaming is in the literal sense while you're sleeping at night. There's not a ton of conclusive data on exactly why we dream at night, but some theories are that it allows us to express imagination, to process and regulate our emotions, and to turn down the volume of real-world problems. It's fun to have a dream where you're flying, or where you're having sex with your celebrity crush, or where you're performing in front of 20,000 people. But what if those things were realities? Those realities would be filled with unpredictability and dozens of side conditions that you wouldn't even enjoy once the dream came true. Okay, follow me here. I know that those examples, like having sex with a crush or flying, are not exactly like creative life goal dreams. However, there are similar qualities between all dreams that it's just like more fun to have something as a dream than it is to actually chase it as a goal. Watch what I'm about to show you here. Like, if you tried to fly in real life, you would die. And if you tried to create some kind of device that allowed you to fly, you'd have to become an expert in physics. You'd have to raise an enormous amount of money. You'd fail over and over. It would be a lot of shit. And what if you did have sex with your celebrity crush? You might hate the personality of this celebrity. You would probably have to upend your whole life to meet the conditions of this other person's lifestyle. It would be crazy. What about performing for 20,000 people? Well, you might need to spend like painful long years getting skilled enough as an artist and entertainer to do that. You would probably miss family holidays because you're on the road. You would have to push through migraines and exhaustion and sickness. The list goes on and on. When all you do is fantasize about something while you're asleep, it's much less taxing and it provides a warm feeling of comfort and hope and escape from reality, a necessary one sometimes. For the purpose of our discussion, one of the big takeaways here is that making dreams come true cannot be done while you're asleep. It can't be done while you're dreaming. It doesn't provide comfort or escape. It often provides discomfort and immersion in reality. Since most of us, especially creatives, never really make that connection, we can find ourselves living in a state of unrest that I call dream purgatory. This is a state that arises out of us not consciously confronting which of the two worlds we live in, dream or goal. We may not want what we think we want. A lot of you are probably living in it right now. I definitely am too, in like categories that I haven't dug into in myself. We may actually enjoy dreaming and it may be serving a really great purpose in our lives. That is perfectly fine. After I got out of rehab in 2021, my whole outlook started to change. I went from wanting to be famous for many years before to wanting to live in isolation in a forest somewhere surrounded by no one and have no obligations. And it was nice. Like, I felt relief from the chasing and the hunting and the constant grinding. But like, I realized after having this thought in my head for some time, and this is why visualizing the things you want is so important, because it either shows you, no, I don't fucking want it, or yes, I really want it. Either way, it's great. But after having this in my head for some time, I was like, wait, I think that would be really lonely living in like a fucking forest. Oh shit, and I would be depressed. I would want to socialize after a while. I must not actually want that. So instead of continuing to live in dream purgatory, I decided, okay, I'm going to give up on this as a future reality, but I'll still do it like for vacations maybe, and I'll definitely still let that image of it kind of like soothe me to sleep some nights. It gives me a sense of warmth, and I love it. So what I did was I recognized that it was a dream, and I let it be a dream. Can you imagine how confused I would have been after like years? If I had kept that in my head for years, I would have done nothing to make it a reality, and it would have been weird. I would have felt like, why am I not doing anything to make this dream a reality? Well, because it's a dream, and it should just be a dream. You see what I'm saying here? This is the whole shit of this whole video. A couple of things that are problems can arise if you just live in dream purgatory. One, you could feel like a lazy failure when you think of how long you've fantasized about this thing you want and how you've done nothing to actually achieve it. Makes you feel like a loser. Also, you can confuse your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is your guide. It'll paralyze your ability to make decisions that bring you toward a life you truly want. Your subconscious knows you don't actually want the thing you fantasize about, but without you knowing it, it's confused and it has no concrete way of guiding you. Also, you can kind of inadvertently train your brain to live in this like, if only I had blah, 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 then I'd be good kind of mentality. That mentality will bleed over into unrelated places in your life, and it's just no good. So you don't want to live in dream purgatory. The way we get out of it is by asking ourselves that question that I presented in the beginning of the video. If all this time has gone by and I haven't done very much to get what I want, do I actually want it? Is it possible that I enjoy wanting it more than how much I'd enjoy attaining it? We gotta look inside ourselves and take a really honest assessment of which category we fall into when we think about these things that we want, when we think about our dreams. If you've been feeling for many years that you wanna live near the beach, but you've done nothing to make that happen, ask yourself this. If I woke up tomorrow and I lived near the beach, would I feel more fulfilled? Would I feel happier? Would I get a sense of relief, of freedom? Or do I actually love living in this city I live in instead? I live here. Is it possible that fantasizing about living near the beach and just going on vacations to the beach is more rewarding and fun than actually living there would be? Think of the side conditions that might be involved. Living near the beach means you might need to work really hard for a while to get enough money to buy that kind of property. It means you might live far away from friends and family. It means you might very rarely see new faces because you live in this like small beach town where everybody knows everybody. Consider what the reality of your dream might entail. Regardless of which category you fall under though, the act of forcing yourself to look inward and answer this question is going to be incredibly helpful to your life, because after you answer it, one of two equally amazing things is going to happen, okay? One, you'll realize the fantasy is more fulfilling than the reality, and you'll see you already have what you want. A dream. You've had it for years and you can always have it. Now you can stop being so hard on yourself for not chasing it. What a sense of relief. Or two, you actually do want this dream to become a reality. The act of consciously knowing this now will begin the process of generating plans and discipline for it to happen. Either way, this is a huge step in your life. So what happens when you fall into that second category, when you realize you actually do want the thing that you've been dreaming about? Well, you're gonna have to give up on your dream. It's a double-edged sword of emotion here. Before I decided to chase down a record deal and get signed as a rapper, which I did, and it was a tumultuous road that took forms that I did not expect. I had to give up on my dream of being a rapper. Sounds backwards, but here's what I mean. I decided I'm actually gonna be one. That's a completely different life than it would be so awesome to be a rapper. That's dreaming. Actually deciding I'm gonna be one required me to give up on the dream. When this happens, it feels kind of twisted. For me, it felt like, shit, I don't wanna say goodbye to this fantasy. What is my fairy tale if my life becomes the fairy tale? I'm seeing now how reliable a friend this fantasy has been throughout my entire life. I've been thinking about it for 15 years before I go to bed. What the hell am I gonna think about before I go to sleep now?
15 years was a long time. A month ago today I turned 26. What will I think about before I fall asleep now? Maybe I should have been more present, 'cause now that it's in front of me, I wish that I had one more week to want you.
It's heavy. Similar to chasing sobriety, almost. It's like you might be presented with this feeling that it's going to be really sad and difficult to leave behind something that's provided you with so much warmth and comfort and escape. This new life of actually going for it is totally unpredictable and is definitely going to be filled with things that you did not expect, things that were not exactly in your head when you fantasized about it. But what I've found is this: you will always be able to access that sense of warmth and comfort. Life provides many ways, not just dreaming, to feel these things, even once your fantasy becomes a reality. Trust that you will find these new ways. So, my creative friends, in the beginning of the video, I said some shit about I don't want you to feel like you need to do anything in this moment. We're switching out of that right now, and I'm asking you to do something. Before you go to sleep tonight, take inventory of yourself by answering the question that I've posed a couple times in this video. If all this time has gone by and I haven't done very much to get what I want, do I actually want it? Is it possible that I enjoy wanting it more than how much I'd enjoy attaining it? If you decide to keep it as a dream, great. Now you're out of dream purgatory. And if you decide, no, I fucking do want this, great. Now you're out of dream purgatory. Any answer is totally amazing, and I'm not just saying that whatever you should come across is great. No, I'm serious. Any answer is amazing because you're learning how to not live in unrest. Either you're gonna be cool with this being a dream and you're not gonna have to worry about it anymore, or you're gonna be like, wait, I do want this, let's fucking go. Either way, you're moving forward in your life. If you find yourself realizing that you do actually want what it is you say you want, give up on your dream. Because until you do that, it's only going to be a dream forever. That's it.
I feel it now, just so you know. Remember how hard you fought for this. Remember those scars I won.